Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where it is time for the Champions League round of 16 second leg against Benfica. Right now, Barca have a slender advantage, but we're back at home now, and we have to make strides towards the quarter-final of this competition. Coming up today, we're going to be talking all about Hansi Flick's potential team selection and what we can expect from this clash. It is a big one for us. We must win and get through. So come on, guys, and let's do this. But a quick reminder before we do get started, if you would like the absolute quickest score notifications here in this midweek Champions League round, please do make sure you are downloading the SofaScore app using the link in the description below. That'll take you there right to the app and you will get everything straight to your phone as it happens, with all of the reliable updates from the games that you want to see. And that will be a big help to the channel. Just follow that link down below, and I really do appreciate it, guys, because certainly here in the Champions League round of 16 second legs, there's some big ones here. I mean, there's lots of ties that are very much in the balance. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen at Anfield there between Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain. That first leg was massively in favour of PSG, but they could not get the goals they needed. And also one to keep an eye on would be Lille against Borussia Dortmund. A reminder here that the winner of Barca versus Benfica will face the winner of that game there. So keep a very close eye on that one. But certainly here, guys, looking at ourselves, the first thing I've got to say here, 1-0 to our advantage coming into this game. For me, it's a dangerous scoreline, that, because you can come into the home leg here thinking, oh, well, we went away, we got a really good win, you know, especially considering the circumstances away at Benfica. We're 1-0 up, we are in pole position here, we are in control of the tie. But that's barely anything. I mean, all it takes here is Benfica getting an early goal in this second leg, and you're right back to square one. So I think what Barca really should do coming into this game, basically just start from scratch. In my head here, in my view, just start the game at 0-0, hypothetically. Let's just think here, we've got to come into this game, it's a one-off kind of game, let's get the job done here. Let's not think that we have something to protect, that we have something here to sort of fall back on and rely on. Let's do the job on the night, let's turn up, let's perform, and let's put in a good performance. Because what you've also got to say here, guys, is this, in my opinion, will be a completely different game from what we saw last week, or at least I hope it will be, because what I mean by that is we want 11 men staying on the field, and if that happens, we will see more of the ball, we will be higher up the field, we will see a different approach to the way that we're defending in this game, and you would expect Barca to create a lot more chances here. So certainly expect something very different to what we saw in Portugal. We should be in command, and we should be in a good position here to get through to the quarter-final stages. But of course, guys, preparation for this game, it has not been easy. It has been a really difficult few days for the club, and I've got to be honest here, I found it even quite tricky to sort of find the right words in these videos, because what I don't want it to seem like here is that we're just forgetting about the tragic events at the weekend there with Carlos Minarro Garcia. Nobody's forgetting about that. Nobody here is just moving on and thinking, oh, well, we're just thinking about the next game now. We're just thinking about the Champions League. He's certainly in our hearts and he's in our minds here, and we will not forget the work that he's put into this incredible team this season. We won't forget about the man that he was, that he represented here, the legacy that he has at this club too. So don't think here that we're just talking about the game, moving on swiftly. We will all be remembering him in every match, every single minute that we played this season. And I think Hansi Flick said it really well before the game here. He said Carlos was a great person, he was an excellent doctor, a real professional, and he was a key part of our success, and we will all really miss him. He said, but the team wants to play for him. That's why tomorrow's victory is so important to us. That's why it means so much. We want to win for him. And those there are words from the head coach, from Hansi Flick. And what's interesting as well is that he was one of the very first people to actually find out about the really tragic events. He was the one who actually had to tell Joan Laporta. Flick was one of the first there to find out, which must have been really hard for him. And in the press conferences today ahead of this game, only Flick faced the media. Usually in the Champions League, there you have a player as well that faces the media and faces questions, but there was no player representing Barca today Saturday. Only Hansi Flick there wanted to protect the players for now. We're going to focus on this game. We are going to try and win for Carlos Minarro Garcia and to try and honour him in the very best way that is possible. Because of course, guys, coming into this game as well, thinking about that preparation, obviously Barca then weren't in action at the weekend with the game there postponed. That means that technically the team had rest. You know, we were expecting to play on Saturday. We thought that it was going to be quite a quick turnaround here to this game quite early on as well on Tuesday, but we weren't in action. But I don't really think you can take too much from that there and think of the players, oh, they're going to be much more fresh now, they're going to be much more energised, because at the end of the day, they went through a lot of mental turmoil, which you can't really understate there. So the players have been through a lot, even though they didn't play, even though they weren't in action. It still hasn't been an easy few days, and we really shouldn't forget that. But what I do actually think, guys, is that we can learn a lot about the lineup that we're going to see because we saw what Flick was going to do on Saturday. That's interesting there, because obviously, even though the game wasn't played, we still saw what the lineup was going to be, and it was as we expected. You know, there was going to be plenty of rotation there, certain players coming into this team, certain players there getting rest, and I think that gives us the biggest indication here of what we can expect on Tuesday, because I think Flick there was looking at several players to give them that rest, to give them that recovery time, ready to be involved in this second leg here, because in my opinion, I think we're going to see something very similar to what we saw in the first leg from Barca. Obviously, at centre-back, there's going to be one big change. There is no Pau Cubarsí because of that suspension. I think Araujo will partner Inigo Martinez. That's going to be there, a really interesting partnership to keep an eye on. You've got Balde and Koundé. Those two are going to be vital in our defence. And I think the midfield will probably stay as it is. I think Frenkie de Jong has done enough to earn and keep his spot in that midfield after the first leg. Dani Olmo has been very impressive and didn't get to play much at all in that first leg as well. And then you've got Raphinha, you've got Yamal, you've got Lewandowski leading the line. So I think we're going to go strong. I think we're going to go something very familiar. And ultimately, we will hope that is enough to take us on to the last 8. Because in terms of the score predictions heading into this one, guys, in my personal opinion here, I do expect Barca to get the job done, and I think we're going to enjoy a really good atmosphere. I think everybody's going to be really fired up for this game. I wanted to go out there and basically put all of the emotion, all of the difficult emotions from the past few days into this match and really go for it. So I am going to go actually here with the Barca win by 3-1 against Benfica. That right there would give us a 4-1 aggregate win, and I think we'd all be delighted if we were to make it through a tricky tie. You know, Benfica have been difficult opponents. We've seen that right the way through this season. They are a quality team. They did create chances in that first leg. We've got to be very careful, but I think we can do this. We can overcome this challenge, and we can reach the latter stages of this competition, guys. So please do let me know your own thoughts in the comments down below. How are you feeling ahead of this game? Are you excited? You know, can you wait for it? And what are your score predictions there? And how would you line up? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Thank you indeed here for joining me today, guys. And what has been, again, a bit of a difficult one, you know, a bit of a difficult few days it's been, but let's get a win and let's celebrate the incredible life and career of Carlos Minarro Garcia. I will see all of you very soon indeed, but until next time, as always, Vesca, El Barça.